Yo, 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 what it do? What it be, y'all? It's your boy, Agent A&T, coming to y'all live with an Apex Legendary commentary. And in the last video, I kind of talked about OTF and GBE and 600's downfall. And the video before that, I talked about the events and deaths that transpired in 2014 and some in 2015, but I kind of also got into Young Pappy's death, and I'll probably get more into it in this video, so let's get it started. I ended off with the tragic story of OTF Newski, who got killed while 051 was trying to pull up on Lil Durk. And the most believable story I heard is Durk knew 051 was waiting outside and called Newski for backup, and 051 figured, at that point they weren't going to get Durk, so they walked up on Newski while he was on the phone, and that was that. From the reports and everything I've gathered, the initial reports of his girl setting him up are 100% false. But a week later, in June, MOB Scrap was killed, and there's varying reports of who really did it, but it was for sure 100% 600, but at the end of June, 600 also killed Polo from 051, and Polo really doesn't get honored by 051 like Fathead or Lil Mark, but I assume that's because Fathead was on his way to becoming a top member, and Lil Mark was really doing dirt out here. But I don't know, it's just something I noticed that 051 doesn't really honor a lot of guys when they die. Kind of like Wank and, Polo and shit like that. But even Lil Chief and all that, they don't really shout them out all that much like other gangs shout out their members. But that's just something I've noticed. I'm not saying it's good nor bad, but it's just something I noticed. Well, in September of that year, Munchie from Get Rich was killed either by PBG or some set called E-Town or something like that. But at this point, I'm going to just say it was PBG, since they literally tried to car bomb Bang the Hitter like a week later from what I've read on Reddit. Allegedly, Bang, Moosey, and another gunman opened fire on Munchie on June Way and rode off. They ain't chase him through the hallway or nothing like that, despite all the wolfing from Pappy. Pappy wasn't even there. From what I've read and all that, from what I've gathered. But him and Munchie had a personal beef, so he dissed him anyways. Plus, Munchie was out here doing dirt. He killed Pooh Bear from ICG, giving PBG its namesake, that he's the reason why it's called Pooh Bear Gang. And he also killed one of their alleged top shooters, in James Brown. And I really haven't been able to find a lot of info on James Brown. I really know how Freaky was killed. He was killed at a house party. He was stabbed. Bang the Hitter kind of talks about it on his Facebook. He made a Facebook post about it, but I don't really know too much about James Brown and how many bodies he had, who he killed, and all that. So don't have the info. So not gonna give out some bullshit. So 2 days later, in an unrelated shooting after the whole after Munchie was killed, 2 days later, Fahim from THF44 was killed, and I couldn't get any info on what set killed him either, but him and Day are the only two guys that I know of from 44 who have been killed in the last couple years or whatever. And I know 4-4 is like the original THF, and 4-6 is like the more infamous one, but I think it's kind of because 4-4 is mostly old heads and their set is more quiet about their activities. And I'm sure having guys like Zoo, Billa, and Crack would make it really hard to be discreet. But that's just my take on it, though. I could be wrong. I ain't got all the info on that, but that's just kind of my opinion. But in November of 2014, 051 Boom was accidentally shot and killed by a friend, on accident, of course. But even though he wasn't killed by ops. He was definitely loved by 051 members, and Fathead even makes an appearance in one of his videos. But again, 051 doesn't really shout him out, or I mean, I shouldn't say they don't honor him, because they probably do, but in their own way. But I've like, even Drilly in one of his, he said really fucked with Lil Mark. I think about him every day. I haven't really heard him or Montana really say anything about Boom or Wank or Frump or any of them guys, but just my thing. But then again, I mean, well, Arrow doesn't rap, but they don't even really talk about Big A. But apparently she, from what I've heard, she was really sliding on the ops or doing dirt with, you know, the guys. But that's just from what I've heard and can speculate, but maybe I'm wrong. But really, at the end of 2014 and start of 2015, NLMB started doing hella dirt. They killed Archie from FYB in December, and we all know FYB, J-Main, shouts out, you know, Archie constantly. Lost his fucking mind when G Archie took a headshot or tire shot, some shit like that, but I don't know. But they also killed 2 members from MTG in January, in the same day. That was double homicide or whatever. But so yeah, NLMB start off 2015 was doing work, and then a week apart from OTF Chino, who we all know was Lil Durk's manager at the time, would be killed by 051 Melly, excuse me, at the time. 051 Melly would kill Chino at the end of March, and in the beginning of April, 051 would slide down 600 block and kill Lil Boo from 600. So, I mean, really, 051 went on a little tear there for a nice little 2 weeks or whatever, but yeah, they was out here doing dirt. But 2 weeks later after that, on 420, TB from Taekwon World would allegedly caught his first body when he killed his former friend Capo from Front Street. Not to be confused with GBE Capo, who would be killed a couple months later, but I'll get to that in a minute. But from what I've gathered, TB and Capo were friends. Capo, whatever his name is. I'm sorry if I'm fucking it up. I'm sorry. But they kicked it. They were cool. They were cordial, but they just, you know, they were on opposing sets. And Capo supposedly said, fuck that, Venzel. And TB took that as the ultimate disrespect and no longer saw Capo as a friend, but as an op. And, you know, so May 2015 wouldn't be any less tragic, as Polo from Dog Pound, who was featured in a couple of Zach TV videos when he interviewed Dog Pound a couple times, because I believe Lil Durk's little brother, D-Thang, not 600 D-Thang, but OTF D-Thang, is actually a member of Dog Pound, so they were kind of getting some shine by Zach TV for a minute. But he was actually killed by Wooga World, and I've heard recently CMB or CVG killed him, but mostly I've heard Wooga World killed Polo. But almost a month after he allegedly killed Chino, and less than 2 weeks after getting shot in his foot or leg or ankle or something by THF Raheem, allegedly 051 Melly and another 051 member would kill Raheem, who was also Bezu's stepson. And really, that a lot of the THF members were really upset, and in my opinion, them losing Raheem was really the equivalent of O Block losing OD or 051 losing Fathead, because all those three were being groomed to be top shooters or top members on the streets, and they were all loved by their respective sets. And when all three of them died, their respective sets really started to raise hell. Like, they really, really did not like that shit. And I completely understand. A lot of people were like, he was just a kid, you know. TP also shot you, you know, this and that. But, you know, hey, like, I'm going to say this once, and I'll probably say it again. You live by the gun, and you die by it, man. Like, despite how sad it is, the truth is sad sometimes, man. Sometimes the best jokes have the truth in it, and sometimes the truth just fucking hurts. But PBG also turned up heavy for young Pappy, who was killed at the end of May. And Pappy was kind of like those three I just mentioned, but he was more famous through his music, and he actually had enough clout and enough charisma to actually bring the Moes from Magnolia, aka High City, aka the Hoolies, and kind of bring them into the PBG TFG alliance, despite the two being ops at one point. That's really the crazy part about all of it, is they were at one point ops, and Pappy, we started kicking it with both of them, so they would just, they're like, fuck it, let's click up. And that's how much weight Pappy carried, and even though the alliance fell apart after, Pappy died and all that, the Hoolies still honor young Pappy, which just shows how much respect and weight his name still carries. So, another, crazy thing is the day Pappy was actually pronounced dead, because he wasn't pronounced DOA or anything. He actually, was on life support or something like that, I believe. I'm not too sure, but I know he was in the hospital. And so the day he was pronounced dead, PBG Spaz allegedly killed AJ from Loke City the same day. And 2 days later, TFG Biggs allegedly killed Byro from Dead A World. And then about a month or two later after that, Lil Sean killed V12 from Loke City. So, all that sliding, though, didn't come without repercussions. Yes, they did. They went crazy on the streets for Pappy. No cap, no gown. But it came with a price, as PBG Moosey would be gunned down on Thanksgiving of that year. And that's really sad, because he actually, in my opinion, he had a lot of talent rapping, and he was underrated, I would say. I don't think he gets his respect, just because I think he gets overshadowed by... PBG really did have a lot of good fucking rappers, Pappy, Bang, Moosey was really starting to rap right after Pap died. Who else did they have? They had PBG Chemo is really starting to come into his own. Bang the Hit is one hell of a rapper when he wants to be. I mean, yeah, they was really doing it. And even then, before Tay Sav started beefing with pretty much everybody who he started like rapping with and all that, they could have had something going there. Him and TFG Schoolie they have some tracks that I can't think of the song name for whatever reason, but I think it's called Take It Easy, actually. Okay, what are you doing, stupid? Get knocked down. But anyway, sorry, I got distracted by I'm just out here doing big things popping, little things stopping on Gold One, baby. You know what to do, but so yeah, again, I think Moosey was really underrated. PBG, again, could have been like 600 or whatever. Had a lot of potential, but after Pappy died, it was kind of like Ellie Capone. They kind of just fell apart, wasn't as strong. Especially after Pappy died and then King Shooter got killed, which I'll touch on probably in another video. But a little bit after that, in July, the next month actually, sorry, I'm kind of skipping ahead. In June of that year, THF would actually kill Sonny from 757 while he was in a car with friends, and his friends were, of course, probably riding dirty, and they actually had to push his dead body out of the car to save themselves the actual case or whatever. And of course, it probably ditched the car, but yeah, that one of the more sadder things that happened that year. And later that same month, KTS Vaughn, who was low-key making a name for herself, terrorizing NLMB, and low-key Street Life and Kill to Survive are two of the better drill songs I've heard. But again, he lived by the gun, and unfortunately he died by it. And it's crazy to me how many people started to diss him when he died, but a lot of people didn't want that smoke when the smoker was breathing. Just saying, just from what I seen. Like 600 Breezy dissed him. I don't think 600 Breezy would have dissed him when he was alive. Just saying. one example. But the next month in July, GBE Capo would be killed by MTG for dissing one of their dead members on Twitter. And his murder is actually one of the more tragic ones. Is not only were his final moments caught on camera, and they're on YouTube or whatever, but his killers ran over a little girl and killed her too, trying to flee the scene. And it's just sad, when an innocent life gets taken in these situations, and especially Capo, who was trying to get a way out, find a way out, but he was still dissing people like that. So just kind of what do you do? Sad situation, but again, you was dissing the ops, so they did something about it. Sad situation, because he was talented for sure. He was definitely making a name for himself in the rap shit, but I mean, still, what did you expect? And 10 days after Capo would get killed, 600 Stello would allegedly be killed at a red light by MOB Bebe, and even though he didn't have any bodies, he was allegedly the getaway driver on the scrap hit and several others. I know the scrap hit for sure. Don't really know about the others, but for sure the scrap hit. But so they got him out the way. MOB Bebe, big, still a big mystery, and I'll talk about him probably in a future video. But he was really putting MOB. When MOB was lost scrap, he was really putting MOB on, giving MOB the street cred, and people still respected MOB because Bebe was out here doing work. But TYMB Little was killed by Chris World at the end of August, and that heated things up between TYMB and a gang that's literally named after one of their dead members, which is crazy as fuck to me. But TYMB also tried to claim they were the real O-Block in honor of TYMB Obama, who I don't think has any relationship to the former commander-in-chief. I could be wrong, though, but, But Big Mo from Drexide was killed a week prior by 051, allegedly. And Booby from Jaro City was supposedly killed by either 800 or TW at a party on accident. But when she died, she was mourned heavily by TW, Jaro, STL, even Doug. Before I get on this track and lose it, I want to say RIP Booby, all that. So, pretty much the end of 2015. I'll get into 2016 next video. Pretty solid ass dub, even though, I told my homie to take it, whatever. My homie came through clutch, but it's been your boy, Agent ANT. This has been brought to you by the Spell Block Agency. And, yeah, be safe out there, y'all. Don't get smoked. And, watch my homie take this dub. Yeah. Yeah. Catching dubs, we the champs. Game gang, bitch, we don't play. You know it. For sure. Be safe out there, y'all. For real, for real. It's been the Elevated Gamer, aka 80 above average gamer. All that. Don't think I forgot. But, yeah. Peace. For real, for real. I'm out.